Hi again, and welcome to my channel. So, I'd like to do an update about what's going to happen in the galaxy and the things that are going on at this time. Basically, I'm just going to answer a few questions that I feel needs to be answered in a way. So, we do have some pockets of reptilians that are still around. They're powerless. They can't do anything about their situation. They're deep underground, and they're just probably just going to stay there until someone excavates them in the future. I hope that makes some kind of sense. In any case, we are then going to deal with maybe a threat that you may think may be coming out from outside the galaxy. Now, let me be clear, because when I get these invites to go on the ship, right, and when I get to just see and look at these meetings and all the scenarios that happen, I remember thinking to myself at one point, I said, you know what? If it were me, I would run them out of the galaxy completely. I don't want them in any single planet that's around here at all. We'll chase them right out to the edge of our jurisdiction out there somewhere, wherever that may be, because we don't want these beings around. It's what I thought to myself. Now, if we're talking about a threat that may be incoming, we might be looking at a situation where the Federation is going to protect the planet. So there's no threat per se, as you would think of it. There isn't going to be any threat. Now, I will say this: there's always going to be a positive and a negative faction. There's always going to be a push, and there's always going to be a pull in all scenarios, in all dimensions. That is you can't escape that situation, but you can't cower away from wanting to be close to those positive beings that are your family, your soul family, and your friends, and the people that are part of you, so to speak. So you can't take one thing and think that's going to be a forever situation, and then not go on with being happy and being in a situation where you feel the most joy, right? Because there's always going to be these threats. But the Galactic Federation is there to protect those that are members. It just doesn't make any sense to think that they wouldn't in any case. Don't worry about too much about these scenarios of a future where they might be returning in some capacity to wreak havoc in some ways. I don't want you to think about that scenario. Is it possible? Yes. Is it probable? It's unlikely, because there's going to be a federation that's going to be assisting and is going to be there to make sure that these threats don't have any significant impact, so to speak. Now, there's been some concern about what happens in certain scenarios where, how can I say this? Bad people act good for a period of time until they just out themselves as being bad, really, in at their heart. They're just being hiding this fact. Now, for that reason alone, I wouldn't ever stop monitoring the situation in our solar system, or in our planet, or in your country, or in your state, or in your neighborhood, right? That wouldn't be something I would ever stop doing, specifically because of these reasons. But then again, there's going to be laws that can't be broken because they're going to be enforced correctly in the way that it was meant to be, that very old parchment that we all know about. And that's not going to trouble anybody to follow these rules correctly. And those that do not then will face consequences depending on their actions. So I'm trying to give you a little perspective of an outer world experience and maybe a more of a local general experience of what we might be looking forward into. So I don't want you to be fearful about any type of reptilian attack or anything like that. There's always a galactic council. There's going to be always galactic meetings. There's going to be hierarchies that are going to hear out both sides of the story so that they can come to a conclusion regarding on how they're going to side of which part of the argument is correct and which is not correct. So there's always going to be that level of guidance. Remember, you even have archangels that guide you, and you have angels that guide you in every step of the way in your life so that you can continue to make the right choices, because we've all been given the tools to complete the missions that we have here on earth. Some may not have enough wiggle room like others. In any case, you're brought here to participate in the situations that you're brought in and given the tools to do the right things for yourselves. So I'd like to leave you with that now, and I hope you have a good rest of your morning. Take care.